Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'm going to be teaching you guys how you can get amazing makeup to look good in photos. I mean, social media is blowing up and everybody wants to look good because nobody looks like, you know, 2020 is really hitting them and we all want to fool everyone, but we also just really want to look good in photos. So I'm going to teach you guys how you can get your face makeup to look bomb in flash photography, HD photography, whatever photography. So yeah, if you guys want to see how to look amazing in your photos, then please continue watching. The very first thing that you guys are going to need to create a really beautiful, flawless face and that's going to look really good in pictures is to make sure you have a foundation that matches your skin tone and undertone of your skin. That's super important because you don't want to look like you're like a Barbie doll in the sense of like you took a Barbie's head and put it on a different body, because in photograph, especially flash, you can tell if the foundation color on your face is different than it is on the neck or the rest of the body. Now if you're wearing a top that's like a high neck, then you can apply the foundation all over the open area, but it is harder when you're wearing something more low cut strapless because I mean, unless you have a body foundation, that's a lot of foundation to put on your skin. So for me, I tanned yesterday, so I'm very olive golden tan. So my perfect match for foundation is the EX1 Foundation. These EX1 foundations are specifically meant for people with an olive undertone. So if you use self-tanner, get spray tans, or just have an olive undertone, EX1 foundations are going to be perfect for you guys. And based off your preferences, I like a medium coverage to full coverage when it comes to photos because I want the entire face to look absolutely flawless. It's also really important to know what type of skin that you have. So I have normal skin, so I can skip a primer, but if you have oily skin, you're going to want to use a primer, and if you have dry skin, you may want to use skip a primer and use a very moisturizing moisturizer or even a foundation that's not matte. And you need to work with your skin type with your foundation so your skin doesn't look too greasy or too patchy or too whack within a couple hours of you wearing the makeup. And when you guys are applying your foundation on your skin, I really like a flat kabuki brush like this that's really dense. This is from Morphe and it's the E6 brush from their Elite collection. These really pounce product into the skin, and making the foundation go into your skin is what's going to get your makeup to last longer. This also gives you really high coverage regardless of what type of coverage your foundation is. So I find flat tops give you the most coverage out of your foundation that you're working with. You can also go in circular motions to buff. The buffing method is really helpful if you guys have large pores. That will help kind of disguise them. And make sure you guys are blending all the way back to your hairlines, all over the face, and are blending down the neck. I also like to put a little bit right underneath my eyes just to help conceal the darkness that I have. So when we put on a lighter concealer, it will not look ashy. And then for concealer, I recommend something that's medium to high coverage. You could do something with little coverage, but the middle of your face is really what's going to show in photos, and you want that to be as flawless as possible, well, in my opinion. And so I like to go in with a liquid concealer. I don't like cream because that can be too much, and when things look too cakey, it's easy to see in photos. So I'm going to be using my Too Faced Born This Way concealer. This is a medium coverage. It's also very blendable, and I do put on a decent amount, and I go in like that little triangle motion. So I start from there, go down, back. It's really going to highlight your entire face, and pulling your concealer all the way back here is going to elongate your face. And then I use a beauty blender to blend it out. You could use your foundation brush or any brush or finger, but I definitely prefer the beauty blender, and I highly recommend using this for your concealer. Another tip is that when you guys are choosing a color to for your concealer to highlight your face like this, you want to be careful about how light you go, because you want to go light enough to where you are highlighting your face and this middle area is going to be brighter than your actual like natural color. But you don't want to go too light because that can create really bad flashback in flash photography. Like, for example, if I went too bright and I did like a really light color and I had a picture of me in flash, it could literally look like I have a dark face and then like these super bright white like center areas. And so I find if you don't go too light on your concealer but just a little bit lighter than your foundation, you will still get that look in the photos of brightness, but you won't look like your half your face was like bleached and then the other half is like super dark. Now, a lot of people would just set their makeup like this, but I don't recommend that if you guys want to look amazing in photos. It's all about cream products when it comes to HD photography. They pick up more cream on the skin than they do powder. I'm going to show you guys step by step how I do my cream coloring before I do my powder coloring. So my favorite palette to contour with is the Makeupforever Pro Sculpting Kit, and then as you guys can see, that contour color is very loved. So I'm gonna go in with my concealer brush and pick up that product. So I'm just gonna contour my cheeks. If you guys want me to make a video on like just basic contouring of the face, let me know. And then underneath the chin. I get a lot of questions asked about why I put the dark lines around my lips, and this just makes your lips appear bigger. So this step is totally optional if big lips isn't your cup of tea, but if it is, try this and I think you guys will like it. Move it down the nose. And that's pretty much it for the contour. I keep it down here, and then the forehead I do something different. Now I'm just going to blend that out, and I recommend a small dual fiber brush like this. You can find these brushes literally anywhere at Sephora, Morphe. This one is from Delium Tools, and they do have good brushes there, so I like this one. And make sure you guys are blending your contour up, not down, because that's going to defeat the purpose of a contour, and it's going to make your face look very muddy and just too dark in photos. I'm also going to take whatever left on the brush and kind of bring it down a little bit just to hide the double chin. I don't have a double chin, but this kind of helps in pictures give the illusion of not having a double chin. This, if you have a double chin, just put it right there. And then switching to a smaller dense brush, this is what I use to blend out my lips and my nose. Alright, contour is blended. Now we're moving on to the forehead. The forehead is usually the darkest part of the face because it sees the sun more because it's right here at the top. So instead of doing contour, because contour is meant to create like a shadow, I want the top part to be more bronzed because naturally it is more bronzed from the sun. And I am going to be using the NARS liquid bronzer. So this one is really nice. I also like that there is a few gold shimmer flecks in this. So when you do blend it out on the skin, it is going to have a little bit of glisten with that gold shimmer in it. I think it looks really pretty, and it just adds a glow to your skin, which looks great in photos. Put some dots, and I'm going to take it all the way down to my temples, and then go in with your foundation brush and then pat that in and drag that back into your hairline. You don't want to drag down because that's where we have our highlight, and we don't want to darken the center where we highlighted the skin. Next, we are going to do some cream blush. Cream blush is super important if you guys want to look like you have color on your cheeks. It is literally the key to making you look like you have something on your cheeks in photos. So I'm going to use that same palette because it comes with a blush at the end, which is a very beautiful coral color. So I use this duo fiber brush because duo fibers are more natural brushes because they just don't pick up a ton of stuff, and they're really great with creams and liquids. So I got some on the brush, and I'm just going to place this kind of in the circle area, or the apple of the cheek, whatever you guys like to call it. Very lightly touching my skin. I'm just going to blend it there, and I'm going to pull it back because I want to elongate my face. And last but not least, before we set our entire face, I'm going to use that same palette, and I'm going to grab that matte highlight shade with my finger, and I'm just going to place a little bit right here just to brighten up this center part, and just blend it. You see the difference that it makes when you add just a little bit more. I lied, before we set our face, this part is optional and it's definitely a preference if you like it. So just go ahead and take your concealer, and I'm just going to place that right underneath my contour, and I'm just going to take my sponge and I'm just going to blend that out. Okay, so now that all the creams are done, we are going to start setting with powder, as in like actual powder, and then the powder color products. So I go back in with my beauty blender underneath my eyes and just make sure there's no creasing. The powder I'm using is the Airspun. I really like this one because it has more of like a beigey pink undertone, which helps balance out the yellowness in my skin. Now I'm going to use my sponge and dip that powder in and apply it to my under eyes like this. A lot of people may not like that super matte look, but I prefer it for photos because you can always add a little extra glow if needed. So for the rest of my face, I'm going to use a colored powder so I don't wash out my face too much. And my favorite powders of all time are the MAC MSF powders right here. And I love these powders because even if you are 15 years old or 70 years old, they will look amazing on your skin. So I just like to lightly tap on my skin. I don't really like to, do this and all that crazy movement because I don't want to actually move the cream products that we spent so long trying to blend perfectly. So I'm just tap, 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 tap until I am all set. So I'm going to start bronzing my face, and I just used this bronzer from Urban Decay. So I just grab a little bit and I start pouncing that on the edges right here and a little bit up at the top. We don't want to put it here because that's where we highlighted. I'm also going to take a smidge and place that not where the contour is, but right above it on the cheeks, just in the back part right here, just to add a little bit of color and dimension. Now for contour, I don't like to go in heavy with my contour because we went in heavy with the cream, and the cream you can really see, so I don't want to like over contour my skin and make it look like crazy. So I love the Charlotte Tilbury Film Star Bronze and Glow palette. It comes with a highlighter and a contour, and I love using this contour because it's so natural, yet it's a great color to add a natural shading to your skin. And I just use a pointy brush like this. This one's discontinued unfortunately, but like something like this will do. And I just lightly place that where we put that cream contour. And if you want, you can go back in and use it underneath your jawline. I'm also going to place a little under my lip and just a little bit down the side of my nose. I don't like to over contour my nose because I think it can just look really cheap and gross and not cute. So just a little bit just to give your nose a nice depth. Now for blush, I recommend staying matte because it just photographs better in photos because it makes your skin a lot more smooth, whereas shimmer can just add texture and not in a nice way. Especially if you guys have pores, use only matte colors. And I do like to use more of a lighter blush in the center right here just so it adds a pop of color, and then just bring it back a bit. So I'm going to be using this highlighter right here. It's from BH Cosmetics, the Oasis palette. I recommend. So I'm going to place this right on top of my cheekbone, very lightly because it is blinding. And then I like to add some right in between. Sorry, it's blurry. Okay, so that brings a wrap to this video. I hope you guys liked it and learned something, whether it was one thing or many things. I hope that I was able to teach you guys something about making your face makeup look bomb in photos. So yeah, so I hope you guys try these tips, tricks on yourself. And if you guys do, like, please tag me. I want to see, like, how you guys do your makeup and all that. So yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you follow my Instagram, my TikTok, which will all be, all my handles will be at the end. And also don't forget to subscribe if you guys are liking my content. So thanks so much for coming back, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!